How is it that whenever action is taken, strict action against corruption, it always starts at the lowest level, never at the senior most level? Why is it that the level of corruption is developed? If it is there, then what type of corruption as compared to corruption in India?
Student of sociology, are the Western societies moving in a certain direction? Okay, some trends are visible to you?
What do you think of the Uniform Civil Code? Should we have it in the whole of the country? So, do you think the Uttarakhand version which has come out, it's a good initiative?
GST as such when it was introduced, and the slab structure when we want to rationalize. What kind of reforms would you categorize? GST domain as such, one nation, one tax, and minor changes in the slabs and things like that. In what category you will put the first one and the second one?
Ahmedabad was a very important center of cotton textile industry, but it declined and much of the cotton textile production capacity moved towards South India. Why?
So may I come in, please? Thank you, sir.
Please sit.
Thank you, sir.
How do we address you?
Margi, sir.
Margi.
Good morning, sir. Good
Morning.
morning, sir. Good morning, ma'am.
Margi, your DAF says that you are interested in learning languages, Spanish.
Yes, sir.
We'll just come to that, but it also says Vice President of the LDCE UPSC student. What's the UPSC? Same Union Public Service?
Yes, sir. It was a student association which aimed to raise awareness about civil services in our college itself for college students. And I was the vice president for a tenure of 1 year in that.
Raise awareness about?
Civil services and also provide certain assistance in learning them. And
raise awareness about civil services in what manner? It's a very interesting thing which you have said.
Sir, as a career, civil services compared to other regions in India, Gujarati students have a little lower awareness regarding that. So, as a student association, we aim to raise awareness about how students could pursue a career in civil services.
And the perception of civil services, what did you find? Was it positive? Was it negative? Like normally when you say government office jana and you hold your head and say, kahan phas gaye?
So the perception about civil services as a career was very positive. However,
not as a career.
Yes, sir. As a service.
Yeah.
Sir, as a service, generally the perception is seen as negative, but recently, according to
recently, during your college days.
Yes, sir, during my college, when I also visited certain government offices, and as my college was also a government college, so I experienced very positive response from the administration, and the administration was very helpful in
That's your personal thing. I wanted to know generally, what did you find amongst the, let's say, the student community at large?
So the student community was positive regarding that. It could be because of two reasons. One, they might have had little exposure to the government offices at the age that they were there. And secondly, it's also improving. Like the governance is becoming more empathetic and sensitive to the needs.
Oh no, I am not interested in what is happening.
Yes, sir.
Right. I am surprised that this is the impression you got. When was this? Which year?
Sir, it was in 2018-19.
18-19. I am surprised at this because whenever you speak to the common man, he only curses the government. To you, what does government mean? What level of the bureaucracy?
So the government and the level of bureaucracy begins from the grassroots itself. All the officers, including from Group A to Group D, are a representation of the government, and so the behavior of all the levels of the government does have an impact on the perception.
So, Margi, when the people say, "Kahan pala pad gaya," where have we got stuck, right? Which level are they referring to?
So generally, in my opinion, they are referring to the level at which they need to deal with Group C and Group D employees in the government, where they are, I would say, a little stagnated in their mindset, and rather than service, they treat citizens as if they are providing some service that they are not eligible for. So that is my perception.
Would you call it the cutting edge of corruption? And that's where the corruption starts? Or would you say corruption starts at the top?
Sir, this seems like a chicken and egg problem to me because personally I have not experienced anything like that, but we hear it at all the levels, be it the higher or the lower. So I would not be able to say where it starts.
How is it that whenever action is taken, strict action against corruption, it always starts at the lowest level, never at the senior most level? It's like trying to clean dirt in your house starting from the ground floor. That we'll work our way upwards rather than starting from the top. And you clean a house, don't you?
Yes, I do.
You start with the top floor and work your way down. But action is always taken at the lowest level.
So there could be multiple reasons. One could be that it would be the easiest to identify, as they are the ones.
No, in fact, it's so many people at the lower level and few at the top level. It's much easier to identify who's, so to say, pulling the strings.
So, but their interaction with the common citizens is the highest compared to the highest levels. The lowest levels interact the most. Like when we talk about corruption at the constabulary or the traffic police level, it is more easier to identify compared to who is pulling the strings at the top levels.
Okay, Margie, since you are seeming to be capable of thinking, why is it that the level of corruption in developed, not developing, in developed countries is less? And if it is there, then what type of corruption as compared to corruption in India? Because if you get into government service, you will have to deal with why is corruption there, what type is it, and how do we tackle the type here? But short answers now.
Okay, sir. So, in India, we find three types of corruption. One at the lowest levels, where consumers or citizens, let's say, are being asked to pay bribes. Secondly, at the higher levels, where for passing of the development projects, there would be corruption. And third, in developed countries, the sort of corruption that is seen is where private companies pull some strings for the development projects or infrastructure projects that they have, but it does not impact the common citizen as such, and that is more prevalent in developed countries, and that's the difference.
So how do we check this? Last question from my side, how do we check this common man problem? Because that is what you have to address in this country.
Yes, sir.
How do we check it?
So, there are two reasons for this. One is the supply side, where the citizens are ready to pay the bribes for getting their work done. So that needs to change the mindset, and the corruption that is normalized has to be done away with. And secondly, the salaries or the compensation that we provide to the employees at the lowest levels needs to be increased, so that they do not compensate for their low salaries from corruption. These could be the two ways.
Okay, board will interact with you.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
All right. Your interest is Western fiction books.
Yes,
Which
sir.
particular genre is to your liking?
So, one is the romance genre, and the second is domestic fiction genre.
Domestic fiction.
As
Social
in-
issues? Or
Social issues and more related with women and their roles in society.
any book you read lately?
Yes, sir. So, one book that I read is called The Four Winds by Kristen Hanna. Should I elaborate on what
No,
that's
because
at?
I have not read it. So
Okay.
leave it.
Okay, sir.
Wokeism. What is wokeism?
So, wokeism, as per my knowledge, is when we try to propagate certain modern ideas of liberty and equality and freedom. However, in the recent times, we are seeing that wokeism is also creating issues in the erstwhile non-problematic areas, which might not be creating a problem in society, but they are still addressed as
You're
a
a
part.
student of sociology. Are the Western societies moving in a certain direction? Okay. Some trends are visible to you?
So, one trend that I can think of right now is the trend of gender fluidity that is coming in Western societies. And
Gender fluidity.
gender fluidity, as in a person is allowed to identify as any gender that they like.
They are moving away from that.
Okay, sir.
LGBT or anything else.
So, this is.
Are they becoming more conservative, more religion oriented, and less tolerant?
So, I would not say less tolerant, but there is a rise of the traditional values that they had, that they are now trying to establish as a part of the society.
They are becoming anti-immigration. What is wrong? Why is that happening?
So the anti-immigration issue is has both economic and social perspectives. Economically, the local people are not getting jobs, as the immigrants are willing to work at lesser wages. So that is creating an issue.
And
And so secondly, socially, the demography of the region is changing, which the locals are not willing to
in your
accept.
view, the immigrants should assimilate with the local culture, or they should wear their diversity on their forehead? what is better for the immigrants as well as for the accepting society?
Sir, neither complete assimilation and nor the complete isolation can be the way to go. There should be integration where assimilation should be there in the core cultural values of the society that they are living in, be it in the West or
In
in the
that
Europe.
context, should the state support those societies or those schools which preserve the original culture? State supports that. Do you think that's a good policy?
Sir, they have a secularism which separates state from religion. So, from that policy, state cannot support. It can prevent any violent attacks, or it can prevent any
No,
ostracization that they
state's
might be.
core objective should be that everybody should come together, or it should celebrate and promote and encourage diversity where groups are there separate as a core objective of the state.
So, the core objective of the state should be that people come together while upholding the diversities, but still integrating. And also, state cannot enforce or coerce the citizens.
Not enforce, I'm saying encourage.
So, the state can encourage diversity while they are integrated.
In what way can they encourage diversity?
So that if there are cultural programs of certain ethnicities or certain nationalities.
State should keep aloof.
Yes, sir. So, but state should protect them if there is any kind of
Protection
ostracization.
is separate. I am using the word encourage.
Okay, sir.
Should state finance those activities?
Sir, in my opinion, as per my limited knowledge, state should not finance those.
Last question. There was some AI Action Summit
Yes,
in
sir.
Paris.
Yes, sir.
What were the main outcomes?
So the outcomes were focus on a green and a sustainable AI, and it was co-chaired by both India and France.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Margi, you're from Gujarat, Ahmedabad.
Yes, sir.
Tell me something about Vikram Sarabhai.
So Vikram Sarabhai was a scientist who played a significant role in ISRO and the development of the space in India. He also has established multiple institutions like NID in Ahmedabad, and he has also played a significant role in establishment of IIM Ahmedabad in Ahmedabad.
Okay, okay. What is peculiar about the Gujarat border with Pakistan vis-a-vis the rest of the borders we have?
So Gujarat shares a border with Pakistan, and there is a Sir Creek issue which is prevalent. It is a 96-kilometer water strip which is being disputed about its share. While India asks for the Thalweg doctrine to be followed, where the channel should be distributed from the midway, Pakistan is claiming 90% of that area. So that is the dispute regarding it. And secondly, Kutch is the area which borders Pakistan.
Okay. So what's so different about the Kutch area?
So the Kutch area is a Gulf region where it is majorly salt based, and so this is all I can think of right now.
Okay. So any border related issues which may lead to problems within Gujarat?
So there are coastally there are issues where there is rising instances of drugs being smuggled through the coastline of Gujarat. But this is what I can recall right now.
Okay. Okay. What do you think of the Uniform Civil Code? Should we have it in the whole of the country?
So the Uniform Civil Code was the idea by the constitutional forefathers, and it has been incorporated in the constitution. So we should certainly have it. Having said that, appropriate stakeholder consultation by taking into account the views of all the communities that will be affected should be the way to go, and it should not be enforced unilaterally, so that it can be followed in a sustainable and long-term manner.
So do you think the Uttarakhand version which has come out, it's a good initiative?
So certain aspects of it are certainly good, but there are some issues about the provisions for live-in relationships. There have been some issues regarding regulations regarding that. Should I elaborate on which issues I
Yes,
find?
please.
Okay, sir. So, sir, one is the mandatory registration of the live-in relationships and the consent of the religious leaders. So that might pose a problem and being against the right to privacy as has been given under the Article 21. So that is one major issue I can think about.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Margi,
Yes, ma'am.
let's talk about gift. It's the pride of Gujarat. Can you elaborate what are the salient features of that city?
Yes, ma'am. So it is the Gujarat International Finance Tech City. It has state-of-the-art infrastructure for industries. Second, it has plug-and-play infrastructure for industries to come and test their models and regulatory sandbox mechanism before going into the market. Thirdly, it is developing a maritime cluster to boost the maritime exports from India. Fourthly, it has two Australian foreign universities campus coming up in it. It has the international bullion exchange, India's first bullion exchange in India.
And also, they are talking about a stock exchange there.
Yes,
Are you aware of that?
ma'am, I'm not
They are
completely
working
aware
on
of the
that.
details.
Also.
Okay.
Now, tell me, earlier there was a rule that NRIs could invest there, but the holding pattern for a corporate was restricted. What is the current position now?
Sorry, ma'am, I'm not exactly aware.
Do read, because we are trying to promote the NRIs to bring their whole remittance and invest there. Earlier, the limit was only 50%, and now they can 100% invest. So, a very positive change. Now, tell me what incentives, if a company comes there and stations there itself, then what incentives they get?
Ma'am, particularly in Gujarat, the land acquisition policies are very streamlined. There is a single
In
window.
the gift city, you immediately get it.
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am. There is a single window clearance, so the approvals are very quick. Thirdly, the infrastructure is very enabling for multiple sectors, be it banking, manufacturing, even IT sector. So these are the three things.
You only said two.
Okay, ma'am.
What was the third one?
Ma'am, the infrastructure, the single window clearance, and the land acquisition. But as you said, it is in the gift city, so that is not an issue. Ma'am, thirdly, I'm unable to recall anything right now.
Tax incentives.
Yes, ma'am.
10 years tax incentive.
Yes.
Even special rate of GST is there.
Thank
Now,
you, ma'am.
I would again ask you a question on GST. That few slabs are there. GST Council has been working on that we should reduce number of slabs. What is your take on that, and how soon it is possible? What is the procedure to do that?
Okay, ma'am.
Does it have to go to the parliament like direct taxes, or whether the GST Council can handle that?
Ma'am, the rationalization has been going on for quite a while, but because India has a very diverse population and the ratio of indirect taxes compared to direct taxes is higher, so that rationalization becomes a bit difficult because of the diversity of products that we have. The procedure will be passing it through the GST Council by the 3/4 of weighted votes. But if there has to be an increase in taxation, then the bill has to pass through the parliament for.
No, I'm only focusing on the slabs.
Ma'am, that in my
The
knowledge
GST
can be
Council
done by
can
the
do
GST
it.
Council.
They have selected some 6 finance ministers of different states, and
Okay.
that committee is working on that.
Thank you.
How soon we would be able to rationalize that, the slab structure?
Ma'am, I'm not exactly aware how.
My last question to you is, GST as such, when it was introduced, and the slab structure when we want to rationalize, what kind of reforms would you categorize? GST domain as such, one nation, one tax, and the minor changes in the slabs and things like that. Give me in what category you will put the first one and the second one.
Ma'am, I was unable to exactly figure.
I'm talking about structural reforms and process reforms.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, structural reforms, if we rationalize the slabs, that would be a structural reform.
No.
Okay, ma'am.
It will be a process, because already GST domain is there.
Okay, ma'am.
That was a structural reform.
Okay.
To bring one nation, one tax uniformity in the system.
Ma'am.
Now,
Thank you, ma'am.
are you aware that there is a bill on direct taxes to simplify the Income Tax Act? What category would that be?
Ma'am, can I take a guess? I'm not sure of my answer.
Please.
Ma'am, that would be a process reform?
No, because the old act will be done away with.
Okay, ma'am.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Margi, Gujarat has the Gir National Park, which is literally overflowing with lions. Other states want to relocate some of the lions from there, but Gujarat government is opposing that.
Yes.
Why?
Sir, one, Gujarat has the unique feature of having the Asiatic lions. Also, Gujarat is willing to expand it in its own state with the Barda National Park. It is willing to move the lions from the Gir National Park. And sir, thirdly, it could also be because of the ecosystem that the Gir National Park has and the way.
So we have similar ecosystems in many parts of the country.
Sir, in other parts, there are other animals like cheetahs or tigers which might compete for the same prey.
We don't have any cheetahs before
So they have
cheetah was
been
reintroduced. Only
yes,
leopards
sir,
were there.
reintroduced. Yes, sir.
And leopards are there even in Gir.
Okay, sir.
Don't you know leopards are there in Gir?
Yes, sir.
So?
So I am unable to.
Okay, there's some controversy regarding Vantara after it was inaugurated by the Honorable Prime Minister.
Yes, sir.
What is the controversy?
So the controversy was that certain foreign citizens, I'm not sure if they were journalists or not, but they objected that it was a kind of a violation of the rights of animals and it was cruelty against them.
Only the press people or some government or other organizations from Africa also involved in that?
Sir, I am not sure about that. I will have to read about it.
Okay. Now, Ahmedabad was a very important center of cotton textile industry, but it declined and much of the cotton textile production capacity moved towards South India. Why?
So one reason could be that the mills, the original mills that were there, they shut down. And the
Why did they shut down? What was the reason? That's
so
a
the
basic question.
So the major reason was the rise of trade unions, due to which the working was very frequently halted, and which led to the shutdowns of many mills in Ahmedabad.
Anything to do with the market?
So so that
I somewhere read it was more of a market-driven activity or market-driven.
So Ahmedabad still houses the big corporate houses of textiles, be it Arvind Mills. So I think the market, I am not aware of the.
Okay, Ahmedabad is a beautiful riverfront.
Yes, sir.
The farmers of the surrounding area have objected to it.
Yes, sir.
What's their objection?
So their objection is that they were living on the banks of the river before the riverfront was developed, and they were not appropriate.
Farmers were living there.
Sorry, sir. There were other people living there, not.
No, the farmers in the surrounding area, not along the river bank.
Okay, sir. Sir, I'm not aware about it. I will read about it, sir.
You must have visited the riverfront.
Yes, sir, I have.
What's the quality of water?
So the quality is declining, and there is huge river pollution in suburban. Yes.
So why this area is getting polluted now?
Sir,
we created something to show to everybody, and then suddenly the level of pollution is rising.
So the frequency of people is increasing, and secondly, on festivals like Ganpati or Chhat Puja, there is also
much of the sewage is also flowing into it untreated.
Yes, sir. That is another reason. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Good, Margi. Thank you. Please wait outside. We'll just call you back.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.